Spoiler tapestry warning. Seriously, this sucker pretty much lays the whole movie out, right? Dancing, reading, eating, dying sums it up. So basically, this is the first roll credits moment to be presented in macrame. I know this movie eventually gets more lighthearted, but holy this is the most depressing winter landscape scene of all goddamn time. This is like if Bob Ross painted only sadness.
Hello.
This answering machine picks up on the third ring, and that's just not okay. I lived through the answering machine era, and there were rules to that. You set the pickup for the fourth or fifth ring, and the fourth or fifth ring only. Any less, and you might not get to the phone before it went to the message, and any more, you might risk people hanging up before the answering machine gets to them. And if you called someone, you always had to wait 6 rings to make sure you couldn't leave a message.
Okay, I love you.
Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way up front and address the elephant in the room. This movie begins with a horrifying double murder-suicide, and even though it's a work of fiction, it gives me an opportunity to remind you people that the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in the U.S. is 1-800-273-8255, and if you search for the website, it'll give you an online chat option if you're nervous about talking or hearing impaired. I know, you don't come to this channel for mental health advice, and I'm being a buzzkill, but I do not care. It's important, people. If you're feeling like taking your own life, call 1-800-273-8255 or visit the website for the online chat option. And yes, I'm going to count this as a sin because I've talked too much to distract from the overall total, so just deal with it. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
So I was calling just to see if you still wanted to hang out later.
Florence Pugh's American accent is just distractingly good, man. I hate that the Brits are this good at our accents and will thusly award her a sin in an unfair manner. What did we even fight that war for?
Well, they don't let her. She's bipolar.
Yeah,
so.
I know, but you do though, babes. You go straight to crisis mode.
This guy, don't let the movie let you forget what a asshole he is by the end. You should be looking forward to everything that happens to this mother. And yes, I realize I'm validating this performance by recognizing the dude plays an asshole really well, but seriously, this guy.
What if I have overwhelmed him?
Goddamn, this depiction of a toxic relationship is brilliantly potent, but it doesn't get the movie off the hook for some blatant smart exposition. Also, I know we need to set the mood, but Jesus Christ, why is it so dark in here? Danny's up and awake, but she can't turn on an overhead? Wasted pizza. Certainly one of these guys is the you're gonna eat that guy, right?
And don't forget about all the Swedish women you can impregnate in June.
Impregnashadowing.
It's literally abuse.
I don't care what a dickhead this character is, he's literally supposed to be smart, and smart people don't use literally this liberally. Movie takes almost 12 and a half minutes to Midsommar, and it's barely midsummerable. I'm about to remove a sin for the beautiful bear shadowing in this painting as a stand-in for the incredibly complex and nuanced illusion and subliminal visual storytelling that is all over this film. And if it bothers you that foreshadowing can be both a sin and a sin removal, get your own YouTube channel where you can make the rules, because this movie is one of the best examples of brilliant foreshadowing I've ever seen.
I don't know what my thesis is.
I believe it's pronounced thesi. Geez, you'd think a grad student would know this.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey.
The fact that so much of this scene is shot in reflection is fantastic, and I'm sure it plays up a theme that I'm not smart enough to get. But what the f*** is that reflective surface? Too dark to be a traditional mirror, and the borders don't suggest that it's a TV. I feel like the surface is made out of the goo Scarlett Johansson uses to kill dudes and under the skin.
You're doing psychiatry, right?
As psychology.
Psychology majors.
Who's that one?
That's last year's May Queen.
Does Pella go around snapping pics on his iPhone after every Midsommar? He certainly doesn't in this movie. This sequence of photos seems like a regular-ass family reunion, which it is decidedly not. This transition from an apartment to the plane is pretty cool, but also distracting, because it's jarring how obvious it is. I guess it's probably too much to ask for some subtlety from Ari Aster, but here we are. I'm sorry, ma'am, there are no existential freakouts in this airplane lavatory. It was all explained by the flight attendant during the pre-flight instructions. Okay, fine, I get it, but this panning the camera upside down to show that we're about to essentially encounter an alternate dimension has been done enough times to qualify as a cliche. It's like Disneyland, only slightly pornier and more murdery. Parking in the middle of the road, or car path, or whatever it is. The point is, pull into the field before you park, you jerk.
Meet my brother Ingmar.
Oh, so that's where the dude from Spin Doctors has been all these years.
We can't take them at different times. They'll be totally separate trips.
You want to wait for us then?
Who the has this discussion? Like, I understand these bros are tight and but why do they have to take the shrooms at the exact same time? There's no indication they'll take hold simultaneously anyway. Jesus, I like this movie a lot, but there's some really silly manufactured tension. Annihilation 2, Annihilate Harder.
It's almost your birthday. You're okay.
Go, Danny. Almost your birthday. We tripping balls like it's your birthday. We go midsummer like it's your birthday. And you know we don't f*** around with mushroom birthdays. Looking into a mirror while you're tripping. Honestly, that's some super sinful.
We found you here like 6 hours ago.
Wait, they found her here 6 hours ago? The entire group of youngs waited around for 6 goddamn hours for Danny to sober the hell up?
So we're stopping in Waco before going to Pell's Village?
Look, the dialogue that's off-screen is some of the funniest in the movie. It's hilarious, but this makes zero sense. Mark should know pretty much exactly what he's getting into here. Hell, even before I saw this movie, if you said the word Midsommar, I would picture this exact scene. The instrumentalists are playing recorders, but somehow not a rendition of Hot Cross Buns.
I think the Saki Saints do the same thing in Braj Bhumi.
So, we are your hosts?
I love how this movie takes subtle digs at the hubris of supposed smarty pantses. Take a sin off, you bastard. Who the hell is this hipster couple? Are they locals? If so, why aren't they dressed in the frocks? I honestly think this is a random hipster couple that wandered onto the set, and I won't be talked out of it. I was kind of joking before, but while we're here, what is up with all those other guests that walked in with Danny and her crew? We don't see them during or after the Atastupa, so are the villagers just offing them for practice before they move up to the actual sacrificial lambs? Well, I guess we'll never know. Man, this ceremony starts right when Danny's group gets there. Good thing she didn't take 7 hours to recover from the bad trip.
Skål! Skål!
Vikings fans! This movie's weird when it comes to perspective. Like, we've been over Danny's shoulder pretty much this entire movie, with the exception of the brief cutaways to Christian being a butthole. But now we're in the staging room with Maya? Is she a protagonist, or is she just doing whatever the cult tells her to do? Why is camera?
Oh, you're an American, just jam yourself in there.
How long was Pella in the US to gather this group, by the way? And they all seem super casual about maybe going or maybe not. But if they hadn't, what was the cult gonna do? This is an incredibly important festival that has very specific rules about the number of sacrifices, so why is it being treated so nonchalantly at the beginning?
How long have you two been together?
Oh, geez.
Just over 3.5 years.
4 years.
Look, Christian is a dickhole-faced ass. But what's with the surprise from Danny? He at least came up with an answer while she was thinking, and she had to think about it.
We actually asked Ingmar to officiate the wedding.
Really?
Nah.
So, is Simon a dick too? Is there anyone we're allowed to root for in this movie besides Danny?
What's that building over there?
It's like a sacred temple, but no one's allowed in there.
Sorry, I should say no one who's not stuffed into a hollowed-out bear carcass is allowed in there. I'm so bad about overgeneralizing things.
Every Midsummer we have this dance competition and the winner gets crowned.
It's like So You Think You Can Dance, but with pewberry pies and ritualistic murder. It's been a day and a half at least since Christian's been able to charge his phone, so how the hell does he have this much battery life?
At the stupa.
Wait, you're not talking about an actual one?
I mean, it's pretty actual.
So wait, Josh knows what this ceremony is, and this is his reaction? Oh boy, these guys are in for some ritualistic cinecide tomorrow. I can't wait to see the look on their faces. The fact that no one in this movie asks if they're in a horror movie scenario baffles me. There's every indication that this is going to end badly. It's not like they're completely oblivious. Mark made that Waco joke when they first got here, and it's only gotten weirder.
Somebody should tell those girls they're walking stupid.
Why is Mark here again? Is he even studying anthropology? I'm honestly asking. If all he was after was some ass, couldn't he just spend the summer in, like, Daytona? So where exactly are these two coming from? If they're coming from the scary yellow triangle, that's a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time. And if they were anywhere else, wouldn't we see them in this long shot? Man, these old folks really want to die in the creepiest way possible. Like, you've got a captive audience. Make a joke, maybe. Lighten the mood. Earlier, Mr. Nada Hemsworth hinted that the people were taken out at 72. Does that mean both of them are 72 today? I'm guessing this is an annual ceremony, so is it just luck that they only have one male and one female on the docket this year? Some years are like, oof, better settle in for the long Atastupa today. We got 12 72-year-olds taking the dive. Bring the earbuds so the kiddo can watch some Daniel Tiger, because we may be there a while. Everything about this Thor, the Darkest World ceremony has been meticulously staged. So why are Simon and Connie in the middle of this symmetrically spaced group, but our crew is off to the side? This scene takes so long to play out that I'm half expecting these two to die of old age before it's over. Christian's reaction to someone jumping to their death right in front of him slays me. Danny's in complete shock, Simon and Connie are freaking out, but Christian looks like he ate too much pizza and he might have a mild case of heartburn. Ha ha ha, this scene really cracks a guy up, doesn't it?
Instead of getting old and dying in pain and fear and shame, we give our life as a gesture.
Also, no one ever gets sick or injured to death before the age of 72 in this village.
I am so sorry I didn't warn you better.
Some understatements are so much understatement that they are further under the actual understatements. This commune would be excellent at sub-understatements.
I feel like I can't tell if you're joking.
CinemaSins comment sections.
Do you think I don't know what you're doing?
Fighting over the subject of a thesis is kind of cool to see in a movie, but it's also peak nerd boner. This is like Brendan Fraser telling Harrison Ford to work around the clock on his research, and him responding, I already work around the clock.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I wanted to share it.
Well, maybe your lifetime, since they only do it every 90 years. The 72-year-old couple that got axed last Midsommar missed the hell out of the whole thing.
Believe me when I tell you that I know what it's like, because I really, really do.
Palace-splaining. It's just like mansplaining, only calm and Swedish, which makes it more annoying. This fake-out dream sequence feels out of place in the movie. Sure, she had a vision earlier, but that was an obvious drug trip, and the movie hasn't found the need to resort to any other horror trope so far, so why start now? Morningwood! Considering the outcome of this act, I'm gonna call it non-consensual ruining.
But it's important to us.
I just had to pee. I didn't know it was special.
Sure, but you also kind of whipped it out in a public space in broad daylight. This seems like a decision made to mostly promote conflict in the story, especially when there's a wooded area all around you to step into if you needed to do some live streaming. Here's Mael seductively planting flowers when everyone else is acting super weird. Is there a rule that they have to act weird and culty all the time? This potential Sweeney Todd moment leads to a disturbing discovery in Christian's dish later. But are we supposed to think the meat is made from the missing persons? Because that's a gross detail that's never explained. And even though I don't want to know, I might as well know at this point.
Someone's so sore about their ancestral tree. Dude, is he gonna kill me?
Yes.
Is that a fucking pube?
How did he even see and identify that quickly? If we don't find out Mark is a mutant whose ability is spotting and identifying types of hair from long distances, I'm calling pube-nanigans. Also, how could you identify the hair, but no one is mentioning his drink is darker than everyone else's? Aren't any of them curious as to why? I mean, I know what's going on because I paid attention to that graphic artist position earlier that laid out the whole bloody love spell. I'm just saying someone at this table should see the difference, and there's nothing that can change my mind, period. This motherfucker thinks he can slip out of this giant room full of people and then get to the super important library without anyone in the village noticing. He'd have an easier time sneaking out of the Big Brother house. Okay, so Chidi and the guy from Bandersnatch are dead, both because they insulted the village and their rules. If they didn't piss the Harga off, do they play tic-tac-toe to see which 4 of the 6 gets sacrificed? Remember, they don't know that Danny's gonna be the May Queen, so her ass is on the chopping block too.
What about Josh, though?
I'm honestly not too concerned.
Well, that's that then.
You are going with the women for the day's activity,
Oh, hi.
and Seb wants to see you in her house.
Movie morphs into an even more gruesome version of the Stanford prison experiment and expects me not to notice.
Can I ask what this is exactly?
It's tea for the competition.
And of course, there are no follow-up questions. It's like characters in this movie only feign curiosity, even when they know something strange is going on. Make her spill the tea on the tea before you drink it, dammit! She is Groot. I know it's kind of the point, but this dance scene lasts forever, man. There's more f***ing pole dancing in this scene than the entirety of Hustlers.
I think I ate one of her pubic hairs.
Sounds probably right.
Oral histories. Christian looks sad, mopey, broody, or assholey in this movie cliche. Look, the movie itself hardly has any cliches, so we're forced to look inside. Stop! I guess they're done with the feats of strength portion of the Festivus celebration. I can't wait until they start the airing of grievances.
I'm worried I'll have a bad trip.
Oh, no, you won't. You won't. Trust me.
This works.
You are our May Queen.
Me? Yes. Why?
Because it's the only way the relationship metaphor works for the story climax, that's why. Hot damn, this is a quick photo. You couldn't give Danny a chance to towel off or anything? This is like when the whole defense runs to the other end zone to pose for the group shot after an interception, and that's annoying. I'm not sure who the symmetry supervisor is in this community, but give that Swedish son of a bitch a raise because it would have taken hours to set this up so perfectly. This movie's great, but some of this over-stylistic stuff does kind of seem like it's performed by a mildly experienced LARP team in the Lakeview City Park. This season of MasterChef Death Cult is gonna be lit! And thus begins the weirdest, funniest, most disturbing sex scene I've ever seen in a movie theater, and I kinda want to take a couple cents away for it. But it's so f***ing weird, man. The dude's face when the older lady is cheering him on. Damn it, I'm in! I hate geese. Stupid f***ers show up and leave more than a frat house on Taco Tuesday. Stupid geese.
What's that?
That's not for us. I think you should not.
Is she being serious, or do they want Danny to catch Christian's dalliance so that she eventually chooses him for sacrifice? Does it matter? Sheesh, the movie sets up such confusing motivations for all the villagers that it's impossible to tell what is or isn't true at the end. Such a cathartic wail, and wow, you got a family to share it with now, yay! But they're also going to be telling her exactly what to do and how to act while she's here, putting her in a very similar situation from before. Boo? I don't care how druggy he is, there's no way Christian would run out of that hut fully naked and at half-mast. So they just don't care at this point? What point does this serve other than to give someone a leg up while looking for clues to how evil you are? And of course he decides to run all the way across the yard to hide in the Temple of Human Dissection so we can see what happened to Simon because reasons. I like to think Danny's rocking this outfit as a direct protest to Lady Gaga's meat dress. Game on, Gogs!
It is traditional that our fair queen shall choose between a pre-selected new blood and a specially ordained Horgan.
They're using a lottery ball selector for choosing a possible sacrifice. This is a big deal. So why are we treating it like some sort of bear barbecue bingo?
We patiently wait your verdict.
No kidding, man. I know it's a tough decision, but this takes for ever. Also, Christian gets wrapped in a dead bear suit and all the volunteers die in a horrible fiery death. Really nothing left to see here except that genuine smile on Danny's face at the end. I still think she kind of in our current situation, so I'm gonna sin this ending, but that was a nice moment. I love that this low-tech community that uses wheelbarrows for corpses also has a camera dolly track in its field, you know, just in case they need to do some fluid sweeping camera work someday.
I feel happy! I feel happy! På med! Din jävla idiot! Bort därifrån!
Hey, whoa!
Ta bort din äckliga jävla kukosteg!
What? Okay, relax,
Försvinn härifrån nu!
Because I could get uromycetitis poisoning and die, that's why.
We have something regretful to announce. This morning, the 19th book of Ruby Rudder was found missing from the temple.
It's just that the only thing you care about is your writing. And it's not as if I could have hurt you by ruining one of your dresses, and I really did want to hurt you.
I'm so excited! I'm so scared!
Listen, you can't speak, you can't move. All right?
For sure.
I volunteer as tribute!
Nobody's home. Nobody's home.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. It's the only 3-star Michelin restaurant I know of that's a 40-minute walk from the nearest road.
Oh, wow. What?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Somebody should tell those girls they're walking stupid.
Cheers, face!
I just saw a trillion different realities folding onto each other like thin sheets of metal forming a single blade.
This is murder! Murder! You'll all be guilty! And you're doing it for nothing! Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey!